Welcome to Uplink. So basically what I'm doing now is starting the game. How that works is that you have to actually register like you're registering for a website or something. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and put unsettled as my password. And here we go. We're going to choose Moscow as our starting place. And here we go. Installing the Gateway operating system. It's kind of like Kali, except fictional. And here we go, because, you know, supercomputers. They're fast. No tutorial. I've played through the first portion of this game many times. I just never actually got around to beating it. And first thing we're going to do is go ahead and reorganize my memory banks. Yeah. So basically, this game, you're a hacker, obviously, and you have multiple different ways you can do the story. It's basically an open world game, except all you're looking at is the screen of a computer. No, a screen of a computer, or something like that. So, one of the best ways to defend yourself in this game is to make sure that you can't be found by bouncing your signal across the map. So what I'm doing is I'm going over to Internet and I'm going to grab a whole lot of different sites that I can bounce my signal off of. I'm going to mainly go with some public servers and banks. But I guess you'll see in a sec, but also grabbing some essential sites while I'm here. There's different types of sites. So you got the, the public servers. The way you start up with the game is actually on the Uplink public server, and that's still on the map. Other public servers, though, they tend to have links to normally two different phone numbers for two characters in the game, which I think are randomly generated. And that's pretty much all public servers do, so they're pretty useless. Not much to do with them. And then you have the internal services machines that, well, they're an easy thing to hack. And so you'll get missions, which you'll see a bit later, and some of the early missions would say, oh, you gotta hack onto one of these internal service machines. Either delete all the files, or delete a file, or copy files, stuff like that. And so, they're a great way to start off. Actually, the first tutorial type mission is one of those types of missions, except instead of going to an internal service machine, you go to the test machine, the Uplink test machine. We'll get there in a second. So, you see, I've added all these different locations on the map, and now I've greatly sped up the video as I'm going to spend a whole lot of time bouncing my signal across the map. And because of something I'm going to be doing later on, I'm making sure it's incredibly complicated. The more you bounce, the harder it is for them to track you, the more time it goes. Some hacks require pretty significant bouncing to be able to do with a reasonable amount of time. You start off with a pretty crappy supercomputer. And mainly the purpose of doing all those things is that I'm going to be hacking a bank later. to steal a whole lot of money. And so to do that, you bounce around the map in order so that way you have enough time to be able to hack into the first bank, then into the second bank, in order to make sure both statements get taken care of. And you have to hack back into Internet in order to delete your logs. Yeah, you want to make your first thing into Internet because it's got no security on it, so you can delete the logs easily. I'm entering the test machine now to take care of business here at the tutorial level. The password's always the same, it's Rosebud, so I didn't bother picking up a password breaker first. Now I'm copying the file, it takes an age and a half. It's done. And it's actually a really large file size. Yeah. Surprisingly big, it's not something small. There's a lot bigger files over on. In fact, some missions require to use 100 or so gigaquads of memory in order to complete some missions. So now we're going to the internal services machine of yeah. Sorry about that. I went to the wrong spot. Yeah. We'll not let that mistake happen again. But the Uplink internal services machine, or I think that's what it's called. It's the site that allows you to get more missions, watch the news, tracks your ranks, and it's where, most importantly, you get newer software and a better computer. And I'm going to be going for a better computer, but it'll take a while to get there. They're very expensive, especially when you have to keep up with the software to be able to complete missions. So I'm going to go into console chat with these employers, and I'm going to get myself a few missions. If you contact them, you can ask for more money, and they don't really like doing that early on because you don't have any reputation, but it doesn't really hurt to try. And also, asking for some money now is a great way to start, because you can get money you can fund for better stuff. The software, it can be pretty expensive, and the most cost-effective way of purchasing software is to buy it all in large chunks, meaning you don't want to purchase version 1 of software and then have to purchase version 2 and then version 3 and version 4. You don't want to go straight to version 4 because it's the strongest. But that's more expensive up front. Some software costs tens of thousands of dollars. So yeah, what else are you going to do? No. Looking at my funds, the password breaker is pretty much the most essential piece of software in the game. Without it, you can't do much with it. Most people would normally get a trace tracker by now, but I'm good enough that I don't think I need one this early on in the game.